Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks again for joining. It's good to see some familiar faces popping up on the screen. We have a really lovely meditation program planned out for you tonight. For those of you who are new to the program, my name is James, and I'll be co-hosting, co-emceeing the program with my wife, Sadhna. Sadhna, if you'd like to say hello.
Hi, guys. Yep. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see you all again. And for the new people, hello, I'm Sadhna. Also, if you've just started today, I just wanted to quickly re-explain the course structure so you all have something to look forward to. So the series will be running for 21 days, ending on 22nd of December, just in time for Christmas. So 3 weeks in total with a beginners, intermediate, and an advanced program. Each day there will be a guest speaker that will present a new topic, and they will go through a guided meditation as well as some techniques for you to try at home. We really hope that by the end of this course, you'll have the skills and techniques to be able to regularly meditate yourselves and to feel great, of course. Also, I wanted to mention that at the end of the 3 weeks, we're going to start a mentor program as well. if you feel that this is something that you'd like to do. We've already had a question about this, which is so nice to hear, just how enthusiastic you all are. With this, you'll be paired with 1 or 2 people to help you go even further in your meditation journey. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, just running off of what Sadhana said about the WhatsApp group, that's already running. I'll show you the link to that at the end. So already we've had some people active on there. Mark, who you met yesterday, he's been trying to answer everyone's questions, as well as Sadhana and I. So if at any point you have any questions or would like some clarification or some help, feel free to jump onto that WhatsApp and we'll help you out as best we can. Right, so tonight's program will be hosted by Paul. Paul is a friend of ours. He actually lives just down the road from us, and he's a really great guy, and he's been practicing and teaching Sahaj also for many, many years. So he's quite the expert in the field, and I think he has a really lovely meditation planned out for tonight. We'll be recovering the self-realization process. In the beginning, for the first week, it's just a good idea to sort of revisit those affirmations over and over again. Affirmations are not essential for meditation, but in the beginning, they do help clear our attention and put our attention in the right space for the Kundalini to come up. So we'll be revisiting that topic through a lot of these beginner sessions. And so there's going to be the self-realization process. There'll be a bit of an excerpt from Sri Mataji, the founder of Sahaja Yoga Meditation, and Paul will lead us through another guided meditation after that. So I'll pass it over to Paul. How are you going, Paul?
Good, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for that.
Yep.
And welcome to everyone. Thank you for your time tonight for the program. Hopefully we've got together something that you'll get a real experience from tonight. We're doing our second night tonight. Mark did our first night last night, and we went through a realization process. And we're going to do a very similar version of that, but it's a little bit shortened. It's only 5 minutes worth. And it's just to sort of benefit if anyone's new to the program, and if they'll get that initial benefit of the self-realization. And after that, I'll give you a little bit of a talk about sort of why we need to do that a little bit more as well. So if we can just start that video, and actually, before we start, I might actually just give you the hand positions, because like we did last night, we want to do it with our eyes closed. So tonight we're only doing 4 positions. The first position is on our left heart, using our right hand on our left heart. So just on the left-hand side of our heart, we're starting there. And then we're moving up to our left-hand side of our neck and turning our head to the right as far as we can, as far as it's comfortable. And then we can move our hand onto our forehead and just slightly bow our head forward. And then we can take our hand, stretching our fingers back, and put it on the frontal elbow, which is not the crown of the head. It's a little bit forward of the crown of the head. And it's the soft bone when we're a child. And we want to put the center of the palm right on that. And we're going to push down and rotate in a clockwise direction when Sri Mataji asks us to. So if we can just put on the video, and we'll just go through it quickly. It takes about 5 minutes, and we'll come back after that.
The most important thing is to get the experience of self-realization. So the first thing is to get connected to this all-pervading power. This is extremely simple, which you cannot achieve by reading, by studying, or by doing anything. It is not a mental act, but it's a living happening. Please close your eyes. So now raise your right hand on the left hand side on your heart. And here you have to say with full confidence again, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. I have told you that this all-pervading power is the ocean of knowledge, ocean of compassion, ocean of bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness, and whatever mistakes you have committed can be easily dissolved by it. So please forgive yourself and put your right hand at the corner of your neck and your shoulder and turn your head to your right. Here you have to say, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Please say this. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Whether you forgive or you don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. Here, now you put your right hand on top of your forehead and put it down. From your heart you have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone. And don't think about the people whom you have to forgive. Just say, Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Don't think about them. Please forgive me if I have done anything wrong, knowingly or unknowingly. Say it from your heart. Stretch your palm fully and put it the center of your palm on the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Now press back your fingers as far as possible. And with the pressure, move your scalp. Move it clockwise slowly. Now here, again, I cannot force self-realization on you. You have to ask for it. So move your hand so that you move the scalp well with the pressure, saying 7 times, Mother, please give me self-realization. Mother, please give me self-realization. Now take down your hands, put both the hands towards me like this. Like that.
So we can just start with a little bit of an explanation of what Sri Mataji just went through. It's a process of what we call self-realization. And what does that mean? I suppose the essence of what it is doing is it gives us the ability to observe our mind. And when we can observe our mind, we're actually able to see what's going on with our thoughts. So we can break that out into a few different categories there. Like we have our thoughts going on in our head, which we tend to have going on pretty much all the time. And if I ask you to stop thinking, it's probably a very difficult task. And if you keep on trying, you'll probably have a headache after about 10 minutes. And you won't get very far with it. So what this self-realization does is actually gives us the ability to step back from our thoughts and not think. So how does that work? It's basically, if we look at what's going on in our mind, our thoughts are going on, but what's aware of our thoughts? And it's our awareness, our consciousness. And that awareness and consciousness is actually beyond our thoughts. It exists before our thoughts. It's actually the thing that allows our thoughts to exist. So what that state of, or that process of self-realization that we've just gone through, and we'll probably go through it a few more times before the end of this series, it gives us the ability to step back from our mind. And I think one of the a word that's thrown around a lot these days is mindfulness, and that idea of being in the mind. Meditation is not being in the mind, it's stepping out of the mind. And so it's not mindful, it's mindless. But that's probably not a good analogy of it. Mindless means that there's you've lost your mind, but we still have the ability to use our mind. And that's the key to what we're doing when we're meditating, is to get to a state, what we call thoughtless awareness. We're in a witness state. We can see our thoughts and we can let go of our thoughts. And basically, the more we practice meditation, the better we get at doing that. Or what Mark was mentioning last night, we have a gap in between our thoughts, and we learn to expand that gap between our thoughts. So the next step, we can just start looking at our thoughts. Jimmy, could I possibly get up the chakra chart?
Yeah.
Or Mayank? Yeah. But just looking at our thoughts, once we start observing our thoughts, we really only have two different types of thoughts. Thoughts about the past and thoughts about the future. Now, basically, thoughts about the past, the things that have happened to us, the experiences that have happened to us, good experiences, bad experiences. And thoughts about the future, things that we want to do, things what we want to achieve, what we want to have for lunch tomorrow, that's in the future. These are all projections into the future. But when we start to observe through meditation, we really only exist in the present moment. And there's a lot of people who say, yes, we need to be present, we need to live in the present. But when we say that, it's basically our thoughts telling us a story about living in the present, but we're not really doing it, because by their very nature, the fundamental nature of thoughts is they exist in the past and the future. They don't exist in the present. So when we talk about meditation, meditation isn't some form of hairy-fairy kind of thing that we're doing. It's actually something very practical. It's actually giving us a chance to step away from our thoughts, exist in the present moment, and exist as our true nature. The more we can open that window to that awareness or that consciousness within us, the deeper we go with our meditations. So in relation to the past and future, in the subtle system that you can see on the screen there, on the right side, there's a yellow channel that runs up the right side, and then it crosses over at the Ajna chakra and goes to the left-hand side. And the blue channel does the opposite. So basically, we have these two channels, or these two energies, it's probably better saying, that sort of are operating within us. If we get into the habit of projecting into the future, become very ambitious, I suppose the extreme forms of being on the right side and projecting into the future is anxiety, aggression, and all these things sort of manifest themselves as our thought processes in the habit of actually doing that. Like, so we're doing this thought process without actually almost being conscious of it doing it to us. When we meditate, we get the ability to step back and see that process going on. It's the same thing for the left side. The left side is more towards our thoughts from the past. So the experiences that we've had from the past, and we potentially dwell in the past. We can't let go of something that's happened to us in the past. Our thoughts develop a habit of projecting into the past. So basically, we get into the habit of one side or the other. So we might be a right-sided person or a left-sided person. A right-sided person is more into being extroverted, going out into the world, doing things. A left-sided person possibly becomes a little bit more introverted, and possibly a little bit more emotional, and that's the qualities of the left side. But the idea that we've just discussed is that we don't want to be on either side. We want to be in the center, and establishing a balance is the key. And this is basically why we're here, and we're doing these 21 days, is that it's going to give everyone on this group the ability to develop this technique within themselves to be able to go into thoughtless awareness and develop that state of meditation, of being in the present, thoughtless awareness. All these things refer to the same thing. It gives us the ability to develop that state within ourselves. So you may ask, why do you want to do this? And what's the point in it? And I think if you ask any practitioner of Sahaja Yoga, we've all had experiences that sort of when you practice this, there's benefits that, there's health benefits, there's relationship benefits, there's work benefits. It's basically because your mind isn't running your life anymore. You're running your life from a position of a witness to life. And you can use your mind whenever you need to, but you don't have to. And the ability to be able to step out of your mind, basically, if you look at our thoughts, any forms of anxiety or stress in that sense is basically, well, basically stress is the mind wanting to be in the future, but it's in the present, and it creates a stress because basically you're not in the future, you're in the present, but you're wanting to be in the future. And that in itself creates this stress within our mind. So the extreme form of that, we then get to anxiety, and it can become very serious. But using meditation, we can negate the effects of these processes within us. And the more that we can achieve that state of meditation, the better we're able to deal with these situations. So essentially, coming to the present, allowing us to feel the present within ourselves is the essence of what we're going to be doing every night. So I can probably leave it there. Srimataji is going to give us a talk. It's a talk that she gave to the Indian administrative officers, of which her husband was one of them. And she was quite aware of the stresses and the strains that these people get involved in on a day-to-day basis. So we can watch this video. It goes for about 15 minutes, and we'll come back and do a short meditation.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. That's a very interesting subject that has been given to me to talk to you people. Because I've been always worried about the IAS, IPS, and other government servants. Very much worried. Because I have known the kind of life my husband was leading, and I used to think, if these new people who have come to these services, to the government service, we have to tell them the dangers that are ahead of them. Because we don't know what is the subtle system within us which works. And in this subtle system, when we lead this kind of a very speedy, intensive life, it has a defect. It has a defect. You can see in the chart, they have shown the subtle system, which works it out. So we have a center here on the crossing of the optic duct. This center is very important because we react with this. We react to everything. By this reaction, we create a problem within ourselves. And this reaction comes to us because we do not know how to go beyond the mind. Every time we are looking at something, we react. We look at someone, we react. But we cannot just watch. We cannot be just the witness. If we could be the witness, it will not have any effect on us. But we cannot be. That's the trouble when this center is very active. We call it as Agya Chakra. Where the two optic nerves meet. At the crossing point, this center is placed. Even Jung has said that you have to go beyond your thoughts, and that you have to become thoughtlessly aware. Even in our Shastras it is written that you have to have Nirvichar Samadhi, means without thought, and the another is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now even Einstein has said that you have to go beyond the mind to reach the torsion area, he calls. When he was searching for his theory of relativity, he found it was difficult. He couldn't find it. He got very tired. He went into his garden and was playing with soap bubbles like a child. Then he says, suddenly from somewhere else, it dawned upon me this theory of relativity. He calls it openly as a torsion area. And this torsion area we have to touch instead of ourselves thinking all the time and react. Because as a result of that, what happens, we should say? What happens is that our movement, on the autonomous nervous system goes to the right side. The right side is very good, otherwise a person looks very impressive, he can oppress other, he can be aggressive, he can be very systematic, all these things can be there. But it has a reaction. The reaction is horrible because this right side affects our liver to begin with. Now the liver is called liver because we live because of liver only. That's why it's called liver. This liver gets affected and there is no actually treatment, we should say, in the medical science for liver. They can replace it with a pig's liver or some liver like that. But otherwise there is no way out. But we are the ones, we are spoiling this liver ourselves by creating tremendous heat in the liver. This special liver has got a capacity to absorb heat and release it into the bloodstream. And then, you see, it gets relieved of it. But when it is too much, when the liver is too much full of heat, then it cannot give up that heat. Then this heat start traveling upward. It can go to the right lung. It can go to the heart. Now imagine right lung means asthma. Simple thing is asthma. Then it goes to the heart. When there's a young boy, say of 21 years or so, up to that age, he starts playing cricket, tennis, and drinks a lot. Then he gets a massive heart attack. It's fatal, he cannot live. Then it affects, as I told you, other organs also. This heat goes to the pancreas, causing diabetes of a very serious nature, not of a mild nature, but a very serious nature. Then this heat passes down to the spleen. In the spleen, it gives you blood cancer. This is all possible for all right-sided people, I'm telling you. That's why I was worried that people who are, according to me, are the spine of our country. They are the spine of our country. They should not get out of life because of too much of strain and stress on their mind. Now then it goes to the kidneys. It coagulates the kidneys and you get kidney trouble, or you cannot pass urine and you have all the troubles there. Apart from that, it goes to the lower intestines and you get terrible constipations and all the problems of the constipation. Then also to the heart. At a later age, it comes. It goes on affecting, ultimately, your heart fails. Very early in age, I know of recently 2 people died of heart trouble who were at a very good position. This is very much worrying me, that how to bring them to close to themselves, to know themselves what the problem is and how to solve that problem. With this we understand that we react. By reaction we create such a heat within us. Apart from this, the other psychosomatic diseases, this is I'm telling about somatic, but the psycho disease which comes from your psychological problems come from the left side. Of course, I'll not deal with that now. But somehow, if you can move from right to the left, you are sure to get some psychosomatic trouble which cannot be cured by medical science, like cancer, AIDS, all kinds of this. So you are just preparing your body for them. in these modern times, the life is so full of struggle, speed. Now we were coming and there was a jam. Now you can't help it. I was very silently watching. Now this is the jam. I have to reach late, doesn't matter. My husband normally would have been really in great trouble. He would have looked at the watch all the time, would have been, wow, where are we, what are we doing, this and that. But he was so silently watching the whole thing, I was amazed. Because normally he would be jittery that we are getting so late for a function like. Now, you see, once you get rid of this problem, is the easiest thing to live. The other day I met one gentleman who was transferred. He said, always whenever, he is an IAS officer, whenever I am transferred, mother, I used to be so jittery, such tension, such stress on my mind, Baba, what will happen, where will the children go, what will happen to the house, this, that, all problems would come to me. But what has happened to me and my wife, we don't feel anything now. We don't feel. We are not worried. We sleep very well. I said, that's what has to happen. All these things should not affect you. That's only possible when you can go beyond this mind, which we think mind is not such a good word, I should say, because it's not mental. It is, if it is only mind means the one which thinks. And that for them mental hospital is also mad people. I don't know how English language moves. It's difficult, you know. English language is very difficult to explain Sahaja Yoga, because in the English language, you'll be amazed that they call spirit. Spirit is the Atma, right? Spirit is the dead body moving about, according to them. And thirdly, it means also alcohol. Now, which one is closer to which one, I don't know. But this is why I'm saying that English language is a difficulty. Marathi is the best because lot of work has been done among Maharashtrians on Kundalini. Nath Panthis were there, they have done a lot of work, but the tradition was that one person would give realization to only one person. If I have done anything you think worth mentioning, it is that I tried to find out a way of giving collective realization, collective happening. That's what was my humble contribution, and by which I find thousands of people have got their realization. Now, what is the realization? It is that if you see at the base of the spinal cord is a triangular bone called as sacrum. It is called sacrum because it's a sacred bone, and the Greeks knew about it, that it's a sacred bone. And according to our Shastras and also many other prophecies, there resides a power within us, our own power, your own power, called as Kundalini. It's called Kundalini because it is in 3.5 coils. Coils are called Kundal, that's why it is the Kundalini. Now, this power is your own. It's in every human being. And if it is awakened, it passes through 6 centers, piercing through the top of the head, which we call as the Brahmarandre in the Sanskrit language, and the fontanelle area in the English language. It passes through that soft bone which was there in the childhood, and you just start feeling the cool breeze coming out of your head and the cool breeze coming onto your fingertips. It happens. It's an experience, and for which you cannot pay. You cannot. I may go on telling you lots of stories, this, that won't work. It has to happen. The Kundalini has to rise and has to pierce through fontanelle area. Otherwise, it's no use. It's just words, some sermon or something like that. So, this happening is very easy in this Kali Yuga. This is really remarkable because maybe because of Kali Yuga, people are fed up of the things going on and all kinds of things working out. Now what does it do? It passes through 6 centers. 6 centers, these are meant for our physical, mental and emotional being and also for our spiritual being. So when it passes through these 6 centers, it nourishes those centers. It integrates all these centers. And ultimately it passes through this and enters into the all-pervading power of divine love. It's called as Paramachaitanya. You may call it as all-pervading power of divine love or anything, but names make no difference. There is a very subtle power around us which looks after us, which guides us, which helps us, which is the torsion area. Now, by doing that, what happens? That you become knowledgeable of the absolute truth. Absolute. Whatever you know is absolute, is nothing to doubt, nothing can be challenged. For example, it starts flowing through your fingertips. Starts flowing through your fingertips and you can feel it on your fingertips, your centers. Now these are 5, 6 and 7 centers, 5, 6 and 7 centers. I'm not going to tell you all the details now, but when you start feeling these cold sensation, Adi Shankaracharya has called it as Spand, then you feel the truth, the real truth. For example, supposing in your office you get somebody who is a cheat, very well dressed, speaks English very well, very well behaved. How will you make him out? You just have to put your hands under your table and see for yourself. Immediately you'll get some sort of a burning sensation, or you might feel some sort of a, call needle and pins, like that. That kind of a feeling you might get. Then you will also know what centers he is catching on your fingertips. This is the absolute knowledge about everything. It's not question of only knowing who is a bad or a good person, but also of diseases. Supposing you have some disease, you will feel it on your fingertips. On your fingertips you will feel it. You will know this is your disease, and if you know how to cure them, you can cure others also. Because you become one with the whole. It's a very collective personality you develop. Who is the other after all? We are all one. But only trouble is we are separated because of this ignorance.
I'm just going to ask everyone just to close their eyes. And we can just take a couple of very slow, deep breaths. If we notice any thoughts coming into our mind, we can just say, not this thought. We want to be in that state of witnessing. That state beyond our thoughts. not this thought. We notice it's hard to stop thinking. Just put your attention on your breath. Take slow, deep breaths. We can take our right hand and just put it on our left heart, like we did before. And we can just say, Mother, please let me feel the peace of my spirit. Mother, please let me feel the peace of my spirit. Just whenever you're ready, we can just slowly open our eyes. Just trying to maintain that state of meditation. So we're coming to the end of the session. But just to finish off, I just wanted to just highlight that sort of, with meditation, if we can get this one thing right, if we can develop this state of meditation, if we can get that right, all our parts of our lives comes together. Our work, our family, every part of our life feels the benefits of this. We can see why it feels it actually has the benefits is that it actually gives us a state to enter into the world whereby we're not agitated. We're not ready to react. And I can guarantee that if you sincerely and genuinely do this for the whole 21 days, the results you'll see will be amazing. But it's up to you to take that experience and develop it within yourself. So without saying too much more, try and keep that state of meditation. And I'm just going to hand you back to Jimmy and Sadhana. And thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that beautiful meditation and your explanations of the links between stress and meditation. I don't know about the rest of you, but I definitely feel a lot more peaceful. I hope that all the people following tonight were able to feel the benefits of this meditation, and perhaps you are starting to feel more of the effects of the Kundalini rising. This will definitely grow with each session as we go onwards towards the 21 days of this program. Before I pass you on to James, I just wanted to mention that I'm going to put up a link to the WhatsApp group now, in case you haven't joined yet, in case you weren't here yesterday. And on this chat, we just give you updates of the sessions, and you can also ask any questions that you have throughout the week, or if you decide to try meditation at home. So I'll pass you on to James now, and just watch out for that message that I'm going to send in both the YouTube chat and the WhatsApp chat. Thanks, James.
Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and share my screen. I'd like to familiarize you with the resources that we have online. Just pull it up here. You see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So here's the website, freemeditation.com.au/December 2021. I'll put that in the chat as well, just at the end here, or maybe Mayank, if you could.
I'll add that in there. That's okay. I can do that now too.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so this is a really incredible resource that's been put together. This just has the outline of our program, week 1, week 2, week 3. You can join through here as well, join Zoom or watch on YouTube. This is a link to the WhatsApp support group, which is the same link that Sadhana put out. You can also access it through the website. And here, if there's something you wanted to revisit, you could check out day 1, day 2. We're going to post all the meditations here. You can also look ahead to see what's happening over the next days. And this part hidden away at the bottom here is a really great resource. It has so many different tools you can use to start meditating at home. So this guides you how to meditate at home. The subtle system with the chakras and the nadis, if you wanted to look at that in more detail. There is a beginner's guide. There's meditation music. There's some techniques that you won't be familiar with yet on here, like foot soaking and candle treatments and balancing. Those are going to be coming up in the week. There's more excerpts from Shimadaji's talks if you'd like some more in-depth information about meditation. Anyway, heaps of great resources here, and I'd encourage you to come to the website. Of course, these sessions that we're hosting are really excellent way to get started and sort of have a guide, but this is a great resource to get you meditating at home, because ultimately that's the goal, is that you take these tools and yourself begin meditating on your own. And yeah, this is just a really great guide. So I'll just stop sharing. And yeah, just before we wrapped it up, I just thought I'd open it up to the floor. If there's some people out there that aren't too shy, if you'd like to share any of your experiences or ask any questions. Tony, how you going, mate? I see you're here again today.
Yes, very good, James. Thoroughly enjoyed yesterday. I think I mentioned on the app that I'd been a bit stressed at work for the last week. And then after yesterday's meditation, and I really felt the cool air at the top of my head when we did the exercises with Mark. And today I had a really lovely day, very relaxed, And then tonight again, I enjoyed the work with Paul. So thank you very much. And I went through the resources today. I had a bit of a day off work to have a day for myself. And there's some fantastic resources on there. And I encourage people to get on there and have a look. Some really nice videos and some nice meditations.
Beautiful. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. I actually had a similar situation today. I had a really hectic day at work, and then I'm working from home, and the neighbor's dog was barking like crazy, been having issues with the neighbors. So I got pretty ruffled up today. And so it was really nice in the evening to be able to meditate with you all and cool down and feel that cool breeze. So same here. And anyone else? Is there anyone from outside of Australia here? Anyone from India? I think we had some from India yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's there?
That was just me.
Oh, thanks for the support. All good. Well, look, we'll wrap it up there. Actually, sorry, I wanted to just let you know about tomorrow's program. Let me just share my screen again real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Go up to the handy dandy program. Day 3, a contemporary perspective. So it's going to sort of talk about what's happening with modern day yoga and meditation classes, and really more what's happening with Sahaja Yoga and how it's steeped in a very thousands of year old tradition from India, and what it means for your own growth. So anyway, very interesting topics tomorrow. Do tune in tomorrow, and yeah, thanks again, everybody, and see you all tomorrow.
Thanks for joining, guys. See you tomorrow.
Namaste.